Hello and welcome to the program. With its stronghold under siege by government forces, the feeling is that the LTTE and its concept of a separate state is close to being defeated. However, the end of the conflict is far from near until varying grievances and concerns of all affected parties are politically resolved in a reasonable manner. Our first report on the NoWarZone today takes a look at some recent political developments and statements made by politicians.
The budget for 2009 of the ruling coalition was approved in its third and final reading on the 8th of December, despite the main opposition, the UNP and other key political parties such as the Tamil National Alliance, the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress and the Janata Vimukthi Peramuna absconding from voting. The 2009 budget totals at 980 billion rupees. Allocations for local government and provincial councils, health, education and agriculture are among the more substantial, but the largest allocation is for defence spending. The government believes that this expenditure is necessary to end terrorism in the country, as overtures at negotiations with the LTTE have been unsuccessful.
සටන් විරාම කිවිසුම් ගැන කතා වුණා. හැබැයි ඉතිහාසයත් ඒ අත්දැකීමත් එක්ක අපේ ඉගෙනගත්ත පාඩම් තියෙනවා. ඒ පාඩම් තමයි අපි ගත්තොත් සෑම සටන් විරාම කිවිසුමක් අවසානයේම රජයටත් අපේ පුරවැසියන්ටත් රටේ පුරවැසියන්ටත් සියලු ආරක්ෂක අංශවලටත් මහා විනාශයක් වෙලා තමයි අවසාන වුනේ. සටන් විරාමයක් නැහැ. LTTE සංවිධානයේ ආයුධ බිම තියලා ශීලාචාර ශිෂ්ටාචාර මිනිසුන් හැටියට සාකච්ඡා කරන්න සූදානම්. ඒට රජය සූදානම්. හැබැයි ආයුධ බිම තබන තාක්කල් ඒ සටන් විරාමයක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක පැහැදිලිව රජයේ ස්ථාවරයේ.
The Tamil National Alliance, who has been amongst the sternest critics of the government's strategy to resolve the ethnic conflict, boycotted the budget speech, condemning the large sums allocated to continue with the war.
The Sri Lankan government is having only one agenda, that is the war. They don't have any political agenda or they don't have any political settlement in their mind. They are telling again and again that after the victory of the war, we will introduce a political settlement. But that is to fool the international community. They are telling these things. They are having an APRC. But the APRC met more than 92 times. But the Sri Lankan president told the APRC whatever the formula may be, that has to be within the unitary constitution. But definitely within the unitary constitution, you can't devolve any powers to the peripheries or the provinces. Or within the unitary constitution, you can come to any settlement which can satisfy the Tamil aspirations. So, first and foremost, the Sri Lankan government doesn't have any political idea how to settle this problem.
With no cessation of hostilities likely, the main opposition are presently focusing on lobbying the government in two areas.
We are focusing on two issues. That is, creating a safe area for the displaced people and also the need for a political solution and the need for the government to speak with the TNA. It's not only the UNP and the government that can bring this around. We need the representative Tamil people, the TNA. I also said that the UNP has no role to play in a ceasefire because we did offer a ceasefire in 2005. It was rejected both by the present president as the presidential candidate and by the LTTE. So in any ceasefire we have no role to play in it, but this is what we can do and we will certainly help to bring peace to Sri Lanka.
Public support for the war effort has increased in parallel to the victories and the ground control the armed forces have gained from the LTTE over recent months.
අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන් හැම අවස්ථාවකම මේ රටේ තියෙන තත්ත්වය අනුව මේ මම නම් ගාක් සන්තෝෂයෙන් සමරනවා මොකද අපේ සිංහල කොල්ලෝ ඉදිරියට යනවා මේ රට ජාතිය වෙනුවෙන් මේ ඉතින් මේ ගොඩක්ම සන්තෝෂයි අපිට පුළුවන් දෙයක් තියනවා නම් අපි ඒගොල්ලෝ වෙනුවෙන් කරනවා.
The military victories and continued war has its price. While a number cannot be placed on deaths, UN agencies report that over 250,000 people have been displaced and trapped by the fighting in the north. Heavy rains have further aggravated the plight of these people, resulting in further delays and difficulties in getting across much-needed food and other basic necessities for the displaced civilians. Political analysts feel that while the war may not cease until a military victory is sought, the government must not lose the will it presently demonstrates in finding a reasonable political solution to the conflict.
The lesson from Sri Lanka's history is, however, that Sri Lankan governments have never come up with political proposals that are reasonable in addressing Tamil aspirations unless they've been coerced or compelled to do so. Look at the 13th Amendment. It was because of Indian pressure that the proposals were introduced. If you look at the proposals that were discussed between 1994 and 2002 when Chandrika Kumaratunga and Ranil Wickremesinghe were in power, this also was probably because of the military success of the LTTE and the realization that the LTTE had power, had effective control over territory. So one can only hope that the Sri Lankan government will learn the lessons from history and parallel to this military success, they come up with a set of initiatives on the political front that are reasonable in addressing Tamil aspirations.